I know what you're thinking. Hey, how's the real estate market? Well, I'm Chuck Vosberg from Next Home, along with my wife Pat, your favorite realtors, and I'm going to tell you. Just like we do every month, I'll give you the numbers, I'll give you our expert analysis, and explain what it means to you, whether you're buying or selling. But first, let's just go over the numbers quickly, and we'll get those out of the way. So in the $250,000 to $299,000 range, sales are up 23%, and the average time to contract is just 9 days. In the $300,000 to $399,000 range, sales are up 36%, and the time to market is just 10 days. And this also includes our median home price for Pinellas right now, which is $318,500. In the $400,000 to $599,000 range, sales are up 31%, and again, just 10 days to contract. In the $600,000 to $999,000 range, sales are up 38%, with just 22 days on average to go to contract. And here's the big surprise for this month. In the $1 million plus category, sales are up 109% over this time last year, with just, get this, 15 days to contract on the average. That is absolutely astounding in the $1 million plus category. So we've got all that, but yet the inventory is down 37% over this time last year. And if you think back this time last year, we didn't have much inventory then either. So it's gotten to be even stronger seller's market than it was last year. So here's our expert analysis. This trend is continuing. The interest rates are expected to stay extremely low for the foreseeable future. The Fed's going to keep them as low as they can to help stimulate the economy as we get through this COVID thing. And they're, at least for the next 6 months, they're going to stay right about where they are. And most experts believe that it'll be at least 12 months before they start creeping back up again. So what that means is house prices will remain strong. Sales will remain very strong. And of course, cash sales are going to be lower because even though folks can pay cash, it may not be wise to pay cash when you can borrow the money for interest rates are in the twos. Now, what this means in a practical sense to you, if you're a seller, your house is going to go under contract pretty quickly unless you overprice it. Now, if you overprice it, nobody's going to pay a crazy price for it. I know you see in the newspaper that people are paying $10, $20, $50,000 over appraised value, but those are really anomalies because most people don't have an extra 10, 15, 20, whatever $1,000 to pay over the appraised value, and a bank will not loan for more than the appraised value of the property. So that creates a little bit of an issue. So, all these stories you hear about people paying way more than the property's worth, there's a lot less of that going on than you may think. So if you're a seller, our strategy is, it's true. You could put a sign in the yard, put it on MLS, and it'll sell. That is true. But we still do the same things that we do in a down market. We still do a ton of marketing in advance. We still do paid advertising. We still do everything we would do is if it was a tough market. And the reason for that is because we want to get the biggest pool of buyers as quickly as we can. So we get this huge pool of buyers. That means that the offers are going to be higher than they would be otherwise. It'll still sell quickly. Either way, it's probably going to sell quickly. But the whole idea is to get more money for the seller. That's really our job, isn't it? So we still do all those things, even though most folks figure, it'll sell anyhow. But, just selling it and getting top dollar are two different things. Now, if you're a buyer, it's a little bit challenging out there. But we've got strategies. We're very successful getting people into houses, even though it's a tough market for buyers right now. And one thing that we do, one of our many strategies, is when we put in an offer, we don't just put in an offer along with the pre-approval letter like everybody else does. We put together a whole package because we're thinking like the seller. We're thinking, okay, what does that seller need to know to get them to pick our person? Now, of course, telling them all about our person and everything, that can be a problem because there's fair housing regulations that we have to be concerned with, and there's also privacy issues to be concerned with. But think about it. What's the seller really worried about? They're worried about that it's going to be a hassle and the whole transaction's going to be a nightmare. That's concern number one. And concern number two in the back of their mind is, are these people actually going to be able to see it all the way through and close? So those are the two things. So we put together a whole package of information to prove that this is going to be a smooth transaction. It's going to close on time. Everything's going to be just fine. If our buyer is using a lender that we recommend, we have actual lenders that will make a phone call on your behalf to the seller's agent to assure them that they're on top of everything. So who your lender is important too. So we put this whole package together. That way they've got the assurance of knowing that it's going to be smooth, it's going to close on time. And we've seen people who, even though theirs was not the highest offer, they get accepted because they're the most likely to close. You got to keep in mind that money's not the only thing that people are concerned about in a transaction. So we've been very successful with that. It's a lot of extra work for us to do, but that's our job. Our job is to get people in houses. So we'll do whatever it takes to make that happen. So it's still a strong seller's market. That's expected to continue. Our strategies work. If you're thinking about moving, or maybe you know somebody else that's thinking about moving, we'd sure love to talk. No strings attached. We'll tell anybody anything they want to know. We put humans over houses. So thank you for watching. I'm Chuck Vosberg from Next Home. Take care.